As you can imagine, the reaction to this story has been absolutely exploding on social media. Many Canadians say the wrong man is taking the fall. Beatrice Vaisman's been tracking that online reaction for us, and she joins us now. Beatrice, what are you seeing?
Hey, Brian, well, it seems that folks have definitely stepped away from their barbecues right now to react to this resignation of Nigel Wright from the Prime Minister's office. In fact, it's very difficult to keep up. Every few minutes, there seems to be hundreds of new comments coming in, and it only took a few seconds after Nigel Wright announced his resignation for his name to be trending on Twitter Canada, along with the hashtag Canadian Polly as well, Brian. And if we want to bring up that trends map as well, you can see that Nigel Wright's name is currently trending in all 10 Canadian provinces. It's also trending in the UK, Brian, which the reason I think for that is that he had a very strong and public affinity for the Iron Lady Margaret Thatcher. But yes, very wide international interest in this story, and a lot of Canadians and politicians are taking to Twitter to react. In fact, Liberal MP Carolyn Bennett has issued somewhat of a Twitter attack against Conservative MP Joan Crockett. Here's how that went. So Joan tweeted earlier, "I really feel for Nigel Wright. It was the right thing to do." To which Carolyn Bennett replied, "Oh dear, time for the Conservative Party talking points in 140 characters." She then went on to say, "I'm saying Crocketeer tweet is ambiguous. Was the right thing writing the check or resigning?" So these sentiments will no longer translate into the House of Commons as well, Brian, when it resumes on Tuesday. But in terms of regular Canadians, they too are taking a lot of interest in this. Let's have a little taste of what I am seeing on Twitter right now. The first one comes from political commentator Tim Powers, who says, "Nigel Wright is a first-class person. He has made great contributions to Canada, and I'm sorry to see him go." The next one from Stephen Taylor of the National Citizens Coalition, who says, "I've done well in life and achieved a lot. Perhaps it's time to move to Ottawa to serve the public. Said nobody today." The next one from Simon, who says, "Nigel Wright's resignation is due to optics and because, frankly, he can easily afford to, and it was nearly time for him to quit anyways." Another one from Hal, who's feeling a little facetious here. He says, "Damn, Nigel Wright resigned before I could ask him to cut a check to cover all of our personal expenses." Another one as well. "Nigel Wright resigning just begs more questions. Full investigation is required. What is being covered up?" A lot of people asking that very question. And one final one here as well. "Ridiculous is when we lose the capability and character of a Nigel Wright to keep Mike Duffy in the public trough. Wrong person resigned." And Brian, just to wrap up here, one person we have not yet heard from is Tony Clement, who is quite the avid tweeter. He has not put out any statement on this, but he is a longtime friend of Nigel Wright. So I'm sure we will be seeing something from him later this afternoon.
All right, thanks for this, Beatrice.
You're welcome.
Beatrice Vaisman in our Toronto newsroom.